guys, when you get to your matching, most of you are doing this. Use your graphing calculator, which I'm seeing a good job of that. So like if you, I gotta put mine up. You do have an option. I'm gonna show you this too on the next slide, but you do have an option of the calculator on the screen, which we'll get to on number 8 together, and number 9. All right, so if I'm looking at this first little slide here, y equals 2 times 3 to the x power, we go to y equals, and we have 2 times 3 to the x. I'm going to delete that x. And then we're going to hit graph, and we're trying to match the graph with the equations. Once you have getting this right, so like you snap it together. Oops, that one got snapped. Gotta unsnap that. So if you want, this goes this equation, this equation, this equation. There's gonna be some that are not gonna match. I think it says that at the top. Leave the rest unsorted. All right, so make sure you're doing that. All right, let's check your summary. So get that done. It should self-check. All right. If you are on the graph to number 6, please kind of watch how you're graphing your points. Be mindful of that. Let me go to a summary. Let's go to here. So yeah, your points need to be in between on here. 0.75 is right above, and this 0.5, because this is 1. Okay, the 3 is in between, and it should self-check. Okay, so I'm gonna pause it for a second, and I'm gonna explain what you're gonna have to do on the slides after you finish 6, because right now no one's able to move on until I can get everyone kind of complete for the first set, and I'm gonna give you time to see what we're gonna have to do next. All right. Use your graphing calculator to work this out. This is gonna be self-paced here in a second. All right. So let me just pause. So because I want everyone. I'm gonna open up the next slide, but I want to talk about what you're gonna have to see. Okay. All right. So when you get to the next slide on the video to go with your homework, if you took the time to look at that, I talked about using the Desmos calculator, which I want to review again on this activity, and I'm also going to review how you can see the Desmos calculator in a slide. All right, so if you open up now, and if you're on this slide, we're on slide 7. Okay, I need you to look at slide 7 with me. What we're going to do is we're going to type this equation in this line right here. So I need you to put your cursor in the slide and type it. Okay, so on the video, Desmos has a number keypad, and it's this little keypad in the bottom corner. It's a show keypad. So that just lets you see some of the math functions. So we're doing 8, then open parentheses, 0.25, close that parentheses, and then we need to raise it to a power of x. So if you're going to use the keypad, you have to use this a to the b power. You have to hit that button to get the subscript, and then I need to go to my regular keypad. I have to probably minimize this so I can get to it to do my x. Okay. Oh, it didn't do it. Let's see if it did it now. No. Let me flick my screen. Hold on. Sorry. Also, to get the caret, you do Shift-6, and then I can put my X. And as soon as you get it typed in, did y'all see your graph? Okay, so that's what happens when you do your Desmos. as you type the equation, you should see the line to the right. Does anyone need help with this part? Because now I'm going to show you how you can do a table to generate a table in Desmos. All right, so if you look here, see if it let us do it right here. Yeah, if your cursor's still in this line right here, we have this little circle wheel, which is like a settings wheel, and it lets you edit. I need you to click up here to see your options. Okay. So if you look now inside of your line, you have this little table as an option right here. Do y'all see that? Okay, click that, and it's going to generate a table right underneath. Okay. Now, notice a couple things I want you to notice. They've already put points with our numbers here, and they also already showed those points on the graph, right? So we're going to use this to kind of generate points to plot for the next slide. So hit the settings. No, that one. Now hit the table. Okay, there it goes. Yeah. Now, a couple other things, guys. If you move your cursor on the screen, you can move the graph around to see more of it. So I would practice doing that. Move your cursor on the screen, hold it down, and you can move the graph around. You also have the options over here. The plus sign is to zoom in. Okay. The minus sign is to zoom out. Okay. I also can change the features like my grid for how I want it to look. Okay. So this is an option. Like, I know we can't be using the excuse of no calculators when Desmos is an option online, and the TI-84, the 80 calculator 84 is a free option as well. All right. So we have this table right here. We're going to use this for our problem here. So if you go to the next slide. Now, in Desmos, when I'm giving you an activity, if you look at the very top of the screen, there's an option to get that same calculator we just did on the previous screen. So if you click on it, it'll put the calculator to the right. Okay. And we just typed, we already did this issue. Y equals, and I'll probably have to. So I'm not saying you have to use the decimal calculator for this activity because we're using, oops, I forgot my parentheses. X equals 8 parentheses 0.25. I'm saying you need to make sure you're proficient in either one. Okay, so for me to see the table, I have to do what I did on the previous screen. Hit this edit list and then choose table options. And then I can put this down arrow to get rid of, oops, sorry. To get rid of the option of the number key. And then there's our option. So right there, I could copy our values. Our negative ones, we should have a negative 32. Then we should have at 0. If you hit enter, it just goes down to the next line. 8, then 2, then 0, oops, sorry, 0.5. See, I made a mistake on the first one. It was supposed to be positive 32, not negative 32. So this is going to be self-checking as you progress, okay, from this point on. This is a grade in class today. So you need to be proficient in either the Desmos calculator or the TI-84 calculator. All right, so, oops, this is the next screen. So now you have to plotting your points. All right, so it will check at the very end, and then you have some spiral questions for you to do. All right. If you have questions or you're stuck, and I'm gonna watch your progression throughout the day in class, because I'm gonna start scrolling up once we see everyone's moving on, then you need to raise your hand if you're not sure about something. All right. All right. So let's get to work.